Good afternoon, welcome to my channel. My name is Chantal and today I'm going to be painting my first ever self-portrait. The reason that I haven't done it so far is because I'm not particularly happy with the way that I look, and I thought that it might not be very healthy because I might want to change myself in the sketching and painting process, and I thought that wouldn't exactly be great. I've watched other artists create their own self-portraits since then and they've said it's the opposite. Apparently you actually feel better about yourself whilst you do it, so I'm really inspired by that. I want to give it a go. I'm going to be using my Canson Mixed Media sketchbook for this one, and I dyed and cut my hair and it kind of looks funky, so I thought it might be quite nice to paint it now. Let's get started. I had a lot of feelings going into my very first self-portrait. Whilst I was excited, it's something that I'd wanted to do for a long while, I was mostly really nervous. The biggest thought going around my head was, what if I change everything? What if I come up with a drawing and then unintentionally change everything into something that I would like to see rather than what I'm actually seeing in myself? And what if the person at the end looks nothing like me and more the version that I would want to be? Have you ever drawn or painted yourself? I would love to know down below if you did and how you feel about it and how you felt going into it, because I was definitely very anxious. I just wanted to try and get it right, and it was also very difficult trying to look at myself at the same time because I'm used to looking at photos, so that was another difficulty. One trait that I have, which is kind of really bad as an artist, is I don't look at the reference enough. I glance at it and then change things how I'd like, and especially when you're doing a person that you want it to look like the actual person, I really had to look at the reference a lot more than usual. I had to try and make myself do that. The initial sketch was difficult, but I then moved on to the painting, and you can see now that I am using my colour chart that you might have also seen in my very first sketchbook tour, which I will link here and down below. I really should make an updated chart, but honestly, I find this so helpful to refer to. I was just looking at my own skin tone and trying to pick which one seemed closest, and it was actually the one with an indigo undertone, which I probably wouldn't have chosen myself because I like ultramarine so much. I decided to go in with a new technique. For some reason, I was already a bit anxious about this painting, so I decided to use a brand new sketchbook and a brand new technique. I'm going in with the shadows first, and this was an interesting technique. It's definitely a trust the process one, and it was really hard to trust the process. Let's see how it goes. My hair at the time of filming this was a lovely shade of pink going into blue, like a perfect kind of mermaid shade. And honestly, it wasn't planned at all. I had pink underneath and then my roots came through and I dyed it blue, and for some reason the blue stuck to the bottom and the blue dye on my roots turned pink. But I really love how it turned out. It looks intentional, but it definitely was not. I don't know if it shows, but at this stage, I was really struggling. I was struggling to trust the process and see how I was going to fix it. And I think the biggest issue was actually the paper. I'm using the Canson Mixed Media pad, and I've only used it once before for gouache, but it was also really difficult then, and I thought it might have just been the paint, but I really struggled with this painting. The blue layer underneath was really fun, but I think I did it slightly too dark, so in order to try and counter it, I had to add a lot of yellow and pink to try and bring life to this portrait. I'm not sure the skin tone is really very accurate because I think I'm used to working on paper that I can do lots of layers with, and with this one, by the time I'd done the blue layer, the skin tone layer, and then tried to add a load of yellow and red on top to bring it to life, it went really patchy. This paper could not do layers. I wasn't really sure how I was going to save this piece because I'd relied on being able to do lots of layers. If I knew that I could only do 2 or 3 layers, I would have painted it differently. I painted mostly using wet on dry, and that was kind of my plan. With it being a self-portrait and me trying so many new things already, I felt like I might as well have just taken it further and been very experimental. So I mean, at this point, I did a lot of other things. But I think it's gradually coming together. It's a very enlightening process painting yourself for a mirror without a filter, without painting the version of yourself that you would like to see. I had makeup on this time, and I'm definitely not brave enough to do it without makeup just yet. But it's really personal and private, trying to paint the pieces of yourself that you don't like, that you're not happy with, and watching it actually come together and see that those pieces aren't that bad. With the eyes and the nose, it's so tempting to try and paint what you would like to see, what you like in art. But with this process, I tried to make the nose look as similar to mine as I could. I think I did try and make it a little bit more of a cute button nose than what I actually have. But I'm used to drawing cute button noses. We see them a lot in art, and I don't like my own. Similar with the eyes, I think it's so easy to try and make them look bigger, to make them look brighter, and it was really hard to fight that, to fight my instincts to try and make something look pretty in the way that a portrait is deemed pretty. You can tell at this point that I didn't really know what to do. I was struggling so much with this paper. I couldn't make it work how I wanted to. I couldn't make it not be patchy. And so I decided to add pretty much neon pink to the background because why not? I know they say eyebrows make a face, but honestly, look at the difference it makes. I left the eyebrows to last to try and make sure that I got the skin tone right, because I didn't trust that if I added the eyebrows earlier, that it wouldn't reactivate on this paper, and that was probably the smartest move. But it was also really difficult to picture this painting and feel like I'd done a decent job without the eyebrows there. The eyebrows were super important. I did add lashes to this portrait, and if you've been following my channel for a little while, you'll know that lashes are a bit controversial for me. I often don't add them because I mess them up. I don't like the idea of putting hours into a painting and then adding lashes and just ruining them immediately, which I've done quite a few times. Lashes are difficult, they are hard to paint. I don't know if I regret adding the lashes, but I probably should have left them out. There's a lot of emotion behind this piece, and I love that it represents a point in time. I actually painted this at the end of last year, but I've not edited it since because I wasn't very happy with it, but I think there's a lot more to it now. I think looking back on it, I gained a lot more from this portrait than just the way that it looks. I gained the ability to look at myself through a different light and see the positives. If you haven't drawn or painted yourself before, then I fully encourage you to try it. It's a very vulnerable experience, but it's a lovely way to bring out the positives and see yourself in a different light. Overall though, I do not like this paper. It was not my friend, and it made the process so hard and gave me something that is not a strong painting. If you did enjoy this video, I'd love if you could hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on Sunday for a sketchbook tour. Bye bye!